Hello, and welcome to Bedtime Stories with Family Literacy Center in partnership with the Lapeer District Library. So, my name's Shauna, and I am one of the tutors at Family Literacy Center in conjunction with GST Michigan Works. And today I have a book from the series Magic Treehouse number 6. This one's entitled Afternoon on the Amazon by Mary Pope Osborne. So, today I'm going to be reading chapters 1 through 5, and then in our second video I'll be reading the rest of the book. So I hope you enjoy today, and let's get started. So chapter 1, we have the prologue. So I don't know if you guys can see that. Got a tree house. That's pretty cool. I like that. So one summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious tree house appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found it was filled with books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to places in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Jack and Annie visited the times of dinosaurs, knights, pyramids, pirates, and ninjas. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan was a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She travels through time and space gathering books. In their last adventure, Night of the Ninjas, Jack and Annie learned that Morgan was under a spell. Ooh. To free her, Jack and Annie had to find 4 special things. In old Japan, they found the first thing, a moonstone. Now Jack and Annie are about to set out in search of the second thing, in the afternoon on the Amazon. That sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it? So chapter 1, Where's Peanut? Hurry, Jack, shouted Annie. Annie ran into the Frog Creek woods. Jack followed her. It's still here, Annie called. Jack caught up with Annie. She stood beside a tall oak tree. Jack looked up. The magic tree house was shining in the afternoon sunlight. We're coming, Peanut, Annie called. She grabbed the rope ladder and started up. Jack followed. They climbed and climbed. Finally, they climbed into the tree house. Peanut, said Annie. Jack took off his backpack and he looked around. Sunlight slanted across the stack of books. Books about ninjas, pirates, mummies, knights, and dinosaurs. The letter M shimmered on the wooden floor. M is for Morgan Le Fay. I don't think Peanut's here, said Jack. I wonder where she is, said Annie. How do you know Peanut is a she? Asked Jack. I just know it, said Annie. Oh, brother, said Jack. Squeak! Annie laughed. Look, Jack. A small pink sock was moving across the floor. Yesterday, Annie had turned her sock into a bed for Peanut. Annie picked up the tiny lump. Squeak! Look like that little mouse in the sock right there. How cute is that? A brown and white mouse peeked out of the sock. She looked from Annie to Jack with her big eyes. Jack laughed. Hi, Peanut, he said. Will you help us again today? Said Annie. In old Japan, Peanut had helped them when they gotten lost. We have to find 3 more things from Morgan, said Annie. Jack pushed his glasses into place. First, we have to find a clue that tells us where to begin, he said. Guess what, said Annie. What? We don't have to look very far. She pointed at a corner of the treehouse. In the shadows was an open book. Chapter 2, Big Bugs. That sounds scary. All right. Wow, said Jack, picking up the book. The ninja book was open yesterday. Now this one. Who opened them? Jack closed the book and looked at the cover. It showed a picture of a green forest. The trees were very tall and close together. On the cover were the words, The Rainforest. Oh, wow, said Jack. Oh, no, said Annie. What's wrong? I learned about the rainforest in school, said Annie. It's filled with big bugs and spiders. I know, said Jack. Half of them have never even been named. It's creepy, said Annie. It's neat, said Jack. He wanted to take lots of notes in the rainforest. Maybe he could even name some unknown bugs. Neat. Yuck, Annie said. She shivered. I don't get it, said Jack. You weren't afraid of dinosaurs, so, and you weren't afraid of the castle guards or the mummy's ghost, so, you weren't afraid of pirates or ninjas, so, you're not afraid of really scary things, but you're afraid of little bugs and spiders. It doesn't make sense. So, Jack sighed. Listen, he said, we have to go there to help Morgan. That's why the book was left open. I know that, said Annie, frowning. Plus, the rainforests are being cut down, said Jack. Don't you want to see one before it's too late? Annie took a deep breath and slowly nodded. Okay, then, let's go, said Jack. He opened the book again. He pointed to the picture that showed blue sky, green leaves, and bright flowers. Them opening the book at the treehouse? It's a pretty good picture, huh? We could go there, he said. The wind began to blow. Stay here, Peanut, said Annie as she put the mouse in her pocket. The wind picked up, the treehouse started to spin. Jack squeezed his eyes shut, the wind whistling now. The treehouse was spinning faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. When wild sounds broke the silence. Screech, buzz, chirp, chirp. Chapter 3. Yikes! Jack opened his eyes. The air was hot and steamy. It looks like we landed in some bushes, said Annie. She was peeking out of the treehouse window. Peanut was peeking out of Annie's pocket. Jack peeked out of the treehouse too. They landed in a sea of shiny green leaves. Outside were flowers, bright butterflies, and birds, just as in the book. That's strange, said Jack. I wondered why we didn't land in a tree, the way we always do. I don't know, said Annie, but let's hurry and find the thing for Morgan so we can get back home before we meet any big bugs. Wait, this seems weird, said Jack. I don't understand why we landed in the bushes. I better read about this. Oh, come on, said Annie. We don't even need the ladder. We can just climb out the window. Annie put Peanut in her pocket. She stuck out one leg out of the window. Wait, Jack grabbed Annie's other leg and he read, the rainforest is in 3 layers. Thick tree tops over 150 feet in the air make up the top layer. This is called the forest canopy. Below the canopy is the understory, then the forest floor. Get back in here, cried Jack. We're probably more than 100 feet above the ground in the forest canopy. They got pictures of all the pretty butterflies and birds. Yikes, said Annie. She slipped back into the treehouse. We have to use the ladder, said Jack. He got on his hands and knees. He moved leaves away from the hole in the floor. He looked down. The ladder seemed to fall between the giant branches of a giant tree. But Jack couldn't see beyond that. I can't tell what's down there, he said. Be careful. Jack put the rainforest book in his backpack and he stepped onto the rope ladder. He started down. Annie followed with Peanut in her pocket. Jack pushed through the leaves and he came to the understory below the canopy. He looked down at the forest floor. It was very far away. Oh man, whispered Jack. The world was completely different from the one above the treetops. Now that they were out of the sun, it was cooler. It was also damp and very quiet. Jack shivered. It was one of the spookiest places he'd ever seen. Chapter 4. Millions of them. Jack didn't move. He kept staring down at the forest floor. What's wrong? Annie called from above. Jack didn't answer. You don't see any giant spiders, do you? Said Annie. Well, no. Jack took a deep breath. We have to keep going, he thought. We have to find the special thing for Morgan. No spiders, nothing scary, Jack called as he started down the ladder again. Jack and Annie climbed down through the understory. Finally, they stepped onto the forest floor. Only a few rays of light slanted through the gloom. The trees were very, very tall and very wide. Vines and moss were hanging everywhere. The ground was covered with dead leaves. Before we do anything, I'd better check the book, said Jack. He pulled out the rainforest book. He found a picture of the dark world under the treetops, and he read, In the rainforest, many living creatures blend in with their surroundings. This is called camouflage. Oh man, said Jack. He closed the book and looked around. There's tons of creatures down here. We just can't see them. Really? Whispered Annie. She and Jack peered around at the quiet forest. Jack felt unseen eyes watching them. Let's hurry and find the special thing, whispered Annie. How will we know when we find it? Jack said. I think we'll just know, said Annie. She headed off through the gloom. Jack followed. They crept between the huge trees and past hanging vines. Annie stopped. Wait, what's that? What's what? Listen, that weird sound. Jack listened. He heard a crackling sound. It sounded like a person walking over leaves. Jack looked around. He didn't see anyone. The sound got louder. Was it an animal? A giant bug? One that had never been named? Just then the silent forest came alive. Birds took off in the air, frogs hopped over the leaves, lizards ran up the tree trunks. The weird noise grew louder and louder. Maybe the book explains it, said Jack. He opened the book and found a picture of different animals running together. He read, when animals hear crackling sound, they flee in panic. The sound means that 30 million flesh-eating army ants are marching through the dead leaves. It's army ants, Jack cried. Millions of them. Where? Cried Annie. Jack and Annie looked around wildly. There, Annie pointed. All the animals are fleeing. Army ants, millions and millions of them, were marching over the leaves. Run to the treehouse, cried Annie. Where is it? Said Jack, whirling around. All the trees look the same. Where was the rope ladder? Just run, cried Annie. Jack and Annie took off. They ran over the dead leaves. They ran between wild tree trunks. They ran past the hanging vines and mosses. They climbed over thick roots. Jack saw a clearing ahead. It was filled with sunlight. That way, he cried. Jack and Annie hurried towards the light. They pushed their way through the bushes and they burst into the bank of a river. They stared at the slow moving brown water. Do you think ants will come this way? I don't, said Annie, panting. I don't know, said Jack, but if we wade a few feet into the river, we're safe. The ants won't go into the water. Come on. Look, said Annie, and she pointed to a big log rocking at the edge of the river, and the inside of the log was dug out. It looks like a canoe, said Jack. He listened to the crackling sound in the distance. Let's get in it quick. Jack shoved the book into his backpack, and then he and Annie carefully climbed into the dugout log. Annie leaned out of it, and she pushed her way from the bank with her hands. Wait, said Jack, we don't have paddles. Oops, said Annie. The canoe started moving slowly down the muddy river. And that is it for today. So if you are interested in this book, you can definitely check this out at your Lapeer District Library. It's called Afternoon on the Amazon from the Magic Tree House. This is book number 6, so you can get other ones from that series. And I hope you guys tune in tomorrow. Please join us to hear more of the story from Family Literacy Center in partnership with the Lapeer District Library. This is Shauna. Bye.